Businesses hit by the pandemic in Singapore may not have to pay penalties for ending contracts early, but they will still be liable for outstanding debts and obligations. A proposed new framework lets them renegotiate contracts, and if that's not possible, terminate them. And this only applies to contracts that have been entered into before the 25th of March, while contracts affecting essential services and national interests can only be renegotiated and not terminated. And to qualify, businesses will have to earn below a certain amount each year. They'll also had to suffer significant losses due to the pandemic. Now, this is all part of a set of proposed amendments to the COVID-19 Temporary Measures Act tabled in Parliament by Second Minister for Law Edwin Tong on an urgent basis that allows for the changes to be debated tomorrow. Mr. Tong says if the framework is passed, parties will only have 6 weeks to decide if they wish to renegotiate contracts, and they will then have 4 weeks to work out the new terms. Well, the tight timeline is meant to curb uncertainties.
If I'm a tenant and I choose to exercise this right and I can't renegotiate successfully with my landlord, that contract can be terminated, but all accrued rental up to that point in time has to be borne by the tenant. The provisions of this bill will not release past obligations. But for prospective obligations, future obligations, there will be a framework that will be set in place to allow parties to use that framework to work out what should be the compensation to the landlord. So it allows the tenant to break away, but at the same time does not put the landlord in an unfair position as far as possible.
The Law Ministry says this will also help to avoid cases where firms accumulate more losses and go into litigation or go bust, as that would be detrimental to Singapore's economic recovery.
If you were to be bound to a set of rules and assumptions that you entered into before the onset of COVID and you're required to meet those obligations, whether it's financial or whether it's a timeline of delivery, it's going to be having a significant impact on both the supply and the cost. This gives our economy and gives our businesses a new paradigm, a new way to rebalance their position moving forward.